we are QEDN and our company in Colombia, GMS.
Hi, I'm Sarah Monson. I am in charge of food development for humans and animals, and we'll start answering the questions now. So what's up there on Juan Valdez? So we just had the first meeting with Juan Valdez. They liked the drink very much, and they want to sit down more with us and work with us on how we can make the drink better for them. You know, different flavors, so on and so forth. But they're very interested.
From Twitter, we have the question of, can you meet with Apple next? Well, we aren't a tech company. If Apple was ever interested in working with us for us to provide some of our beverages or some of our snacks to them, to have in their office workspaces, then we would be more than happy to meet with them.
We got another question about what are the total assets and liabilities. We were able to settle all our liabilities. We had our lawsuit that we had with a gentleman called Michael Latuca, which was settled, which does not affect QED anymore. In this point, we only have one very friendly debt that we are trying to convert in shares, and we will not have no more debts. And our assets, which is very important, one of the biggest assets is what we are starting to create, which is our brand. Our brand is the GMS Sachainche brand, which was already registered as a trademark, and we want to push that very well because, as we know, nobody else has been able to come up with a drink that has omega-3, 6, and 9 and a complete vegan protein. We want to make sure that we are recognized. So our brand is our biggest asset, and if we are lucky, we can become the next seller. We have a question from James Myers from Twitter, and it is, what are the timelines on your contract? At this point, we have negotiated with Carulla. They would like us to be exclusive with them for a period of time. We don't want to be more than 2 months. And that would be our fish order being sold directly to a big grocery store. What are the revenue projections looking to be? At this point, we would like to have revenues not only for 2022 but 2023, and sell roughly between 10 to 20,000 units a month, which we are able to produce. So we will be, after we finish the negotiation with Carulla, we will release our projection more towards the middle of this month so that we could close 2022 and start with 2023. What is the aim, game, goal? We have registered GMS Sachainche as a brand. We not only know that we are the only company in the world doing this product, but we also know that we want brand recognition. One of the biggest brand recognition is out there is Silk, which, if you guys looked at how much it sold twice in the early 2013 and 2016, which is a very large amount, we would like to be able to become like that. As you know, Silk is a brand that is recognized for beverage made with vegetables, with almond specifically. We are omega-3, 6, and 9, the only one in the world, and we are the only one that has the protein that has the 9 amino acids. So our beverage is a lot better and has a higher nutritional value than what a Silk is, but we want to be able to be recognized and probably in the future maybe being sold like Silk did to a bigger company like Nestle, which already visited us. This is the next question from info@GMSacha. Could you provide more clarity on the GEI asset rollout into QEDN and the pet line? And in the past, you mentioned benefits of having the human and pet line separate because they are both big markets. Why combine the two into one company now? The GEI is coming with a new project that is going to be, shared with the public very soon. That's why we moved the pet line into QEDN, because in our facilities we are doing a lot of the research and facilities there, and it was easier to be able to put everything in once and start producing our product. Now, what is the current progress in the pet line development, and any more updates you can provide us?
So I'll be answering that question, and I'd like to give a little explanation. The pet line is very exclusive to us because the main ingredient is sacha. And I do want to clarify, it is for animals, dogs, cats to start off with, so it does have animal meat or animal protein in it, okay? Just so we can make sure that's clarified. We just got the ICA certification. We have it now, which is great. So now we're just working on the design, and especially with the pate here, we have it in a bag, but we feel like the people that would buy it would like it in a little bit different design. So we're still working on that, and we have other more products coming out.
What were the 300K revenue from Q2? Those was specifically is part of the pre-sales from Éxito and Carulla and other assets. How many farmers do you have currently under contract and with in any projects of numbers of farmers to continue adding and need to scale to a larger order? At this point, we won a project from the government for 65 farmers in Caucasia, which is from Colombia in Paz, which is already started. They already started growing. We have contracts with smaller farmers already, and today we are going to be meeting with one of the largest new projects coming up, which is going to be roughly 300 farmers. They're going to grow with such a chip, but we will continue adding up farmers pretty much every month. We want to have at least between 2,000 and 5,000 farmers before the end of next year. Do you have processing production facility capable of handling large orders that you can receive from bigger companies? What are those facilities located? Okay, we have two contracts, one with Salema and the other one with El Pomar. This one was made in Salema. In Tetra Pak, they can handle 5,000 Tetra Pak an hour, and they can handle, we're going to be our next size, it will be this 300 milliliters, this one is a liter, they can handle 7,500. And we also have a contract with El Pomar, which are able to give us this Tetra Pak, but with the screw top, which is, they also can handle that. That will give us easily 10 million Tetra Pak that we can do in 1 year, which we are able to do, and we are able to get enough farmers by February of next year to be able to handle that volume. That will allow us to go into big markets like the U.S. market and be able to sell, roughly about 10 million Tetra Pak units in 1 year. And we would like to continue growing up. If we see that we are continuing growing up, we might even consider joining up with Tetra Pak and having our own facility. But at this point, we use El Pomar and Salema for us being able to do the Tetra Pak.
Can you provide a list of all companies that you're currently in talks/negotiations with for any deals or private labels? Yes. Currently, we are in talks with Sprouts Farmers Market, which you saw a tweet earlier from us regarding that. We are also talking to Farmaves. As we mentioned before, we are currently in negotiations with Carulla and Éxito to put our products into their stores. We have been in talks with Nestle for a while, and we're still negotiating with them to find a good deal that works out for both sides. And we are also talking with Grupo Nutresa. As for another question from Twitter, earlier we mentioned a private label with Sprouts in a tweet. As I answered in the previous question, we are currently talking with them in order to find out the best deal. We are waiting back for a response on my contact in Sprouts Farmers Market.
As so many investors were very excited about the tweet regarding meeting with Starbucks. Can you clarify what the meeting was in regards to? Okay, we met with Starbucks. Starbucks is a big company, so you have to start with different divisions. We met with them They provide us, they wanted all the information so they can review it. We probably will start more into the Central and South American market and hopefully be able to grow up to the U.S. market. And the idea will be to have the Sacha Inchi, like we are doing with Juan Valdez, have the Sacha Inchi beverage inside the drink. And as you know, they want to make sure that the quality and the taste of their product will not be affected by the taste that Sacha Inchi might have. So we will continue working with them and come up with the recipes which Sarah has been working with. That way we have a very good coffee that has the Sacha Inchi beverage.
How do we establish all the relationships and meeting setups with all these big companies? We establish connections from a few different sources. I managed to an account where I'm able to send in some of our products and answer a few questions from companies themselves. They will host small events. For example, we have an event coming up later this year from October 11th to the 13th, which is a plant-based summit. There will be companies such as Aldi, Damon, Casey, Albertsons, Rite Aid, UNFI, along with many others. We also take time when we're at fairs and conventions to establish connections with other small companies that might want to work with us, and we are also always looking for bigger companies that would be interested in taking on our brand or putting our products into their stores.
A few interviews from a year ago, you mentioned products were ready to go in stores for sale. A year later, you're still working for products to be in stores. Can you talk about these delays and why is it taking so long to finalize deals and get products in stores? Can you speak to the people who argue and say that they don't have a business because they have been talking for 5 years about selling products and still it's not in stores? And why not revenue reported for 5 years until now? Okay, it's very important to understand what we are trying to do. Number one, Sacha Inchi, the only reason we are the only company that have got this far is because Sacha Inchi, the seed itself, is a bitter taste. It doesn't taste good. That's why when you look in Sacha Inchi via Google, you will find out mostly everybody's doing the oil, which means pressing the seed, getting the oil out, and whatever is left is what they, have a leftover. But it's not a product. I mean, nobody wants to put oil in salads or drink a spoon of oil every day. We are the only company in the world that has been able to come up with the seed and come up with the flour. The flour is what it helps us to do our beverage. When you're talking about an almond beverage, it's very simple. You just put the almonds in water, blend it for 24 hours, blend it the next morning, and you have almond beverage. If you do that with Sacha Inchi, you're going to have the most disgusting beverage you have ever drank. Therefore,
we have
they have tried it. They have tried it. So therefore, it takes a while to develop, learn how to work with the seeds, learn how to, get into a seed that is actually tastes and it tastes good, and come up with the powder. Most of the time, the same thing. If you take nuts, for example, peanuts, and try to blend it and make a paste you get with peanut butter, which you can imagine trying to make peanut butter, a beverage out of peanut butter. That's why you don't see it that even, because it doesn't work. So being able to come up with what we have, it takes time. Then you have to bring it into Tetra Pak, because it's not just making the beverage, it's making sure that you have a 1 year minimum shelf life. Therefore, it takes a lot of development and time to get there. So when we talk about us bringing a product, at that point, 5 years ago, we were able to get what it is, our powder and our snacks. Then after that, you have to make sure it comes into Tetra Pak, and you have to build those relationships. And then after that, you have to convince the consumer and educate the consumer what is Sacha Inchi, and especially big stores like we are talking about, Carulla, Éxito, and which ones Michelle have been talking about every single day. You have to educate the consumer. You have to send them the product. They have to try it, and that takes time. And also, we have to understand the change of markets. Right now, everybody after the pandemic, they realized that we all have to eat healthy. That, in a way, helped us a lot because people now want to eat healthy. Before, 5 years ago, everybody was happy drinking Coca-Cola. Now, nobody wants to drink Coca-Cola or Pepsi. Everybody wants to have a healthy drink. We are one of them. So, educating the consumer, educating the big companies like, Perugia, the distributors and everything, that takes time. And then after that, you have to register your brand and you have to come up with a product that actually tastes good. So that takes time. And it has taken us a while to get there, but we are there. You will not see companies like Nestle or big companies like that come and visit your facilities, check what you're doing, and see what you're doing. It takes time to do that, and they will not do it unless they are interested. So at this point, 2022 is a good year, and we will see huge, progress in sales and contracts, and you will see 2023 bigger than ever. One thing that I want to make sure that everybody understands, the sales of beverages is growing 50% every year. So therefore, we know that we're going to have a huge growth every year coming up. GMS is now officially acquired by QEDN because of the preferred shares issue. Will the funding provided by Colombian government be shown on filing? Yeah, at this point, GMS, we have, after we finish the problems that we have with Latuca and we settled that lawsuit that we had with Latuca, that allows us to go forward. So at this point, yes, the preferred shares are being issued at this point, and GMS will be officially part of QEDN.
Would it be for doing a live interview or join a Twitter space to talk with traders / investors? Of course we would. We enjoy interacting with each and every one of you. And a few days ago, when our research brought up the idea of asking our investors on Twitter if they have any questions for us and from the video, we sat down and we talked a bit about whether or not it would be better to do a live stream or whether it would be more beneficial to film a video. This time we decided on doing a video, but if in the future you guys would like us to do a live stream, then we would definitely be open to that. Thank you so much for your time and your questions. We hope to hear happy responses from each and every one of you, and please send us more questions. We'll see if we can fit it into a future video. Do you guys have anything else to say?
I'm having fun.
Thank you very much for
Thank
being
you so
part
much.
of this great road, and hope to answer more questions and hope to see more progress, and then you guys hopefully can see our beverage.
And hopefully come and buy it. Come visit us. Buy it. We would love to see your guys' input on how hard we've worked on this. I mean, we're coming out with new stuff every day, and I need people to come try it.
Thank you.
Thank you.